Hi, Courtney.
Hi, good
How are
morning.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was really looking forward to this.
Me too.
So I guess we might as well just begin.
Yeah, let's go.
So, you guys, I want to thank you for coming on. My name is Lee with Lee Marie Salon Coach. I coach booth rental salon owners, independent stylists, suite runners, whoever's on their own. And we're bringing on today Cortney Cox with Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education. I am so thrilled to have you. I couldn't wait for this. Babe is already a well-known education platform. What originally inspired you to bring Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education to life?
Oh, thank you. And thank you for having me. I know you do amazing work, and we just are just so thankful to have the connection with you. I think what you're doing, helping the renters and yeah, all that, you know, similarly, I guess, is what drew me to this, right? So in February, I will be an esthetician for 25 years. And I've really, I felt like there was a lot of fumbling through life and figuring it out. And there was a lot of gatekeeping very early on. And I feel like that has got better, but there are still a lot of people that aren't willing to share with you and help you. And in the state that I live in Illinois, we have to do advanced continuing education to keep our license intact. And I knew there really just wasn't much education, both either online and kind of talking about topics like the soft skills that we need, whether you work for someone or you work for yourself. And so it pained me to see my colleagues struggling so much. So I just decided to, serve our industry. And I do still see clients, but, that's part time. And my passion is now educating other professionals.
Well, just the fact that someone can go onto your website, pick the course that they want to pick for their CEU hours, and really have more of an interest instead of just saying, oh, you have to take this because you need hours.
Right.
So
You're
you've
just
really
checking the
opened up,
box.
right? You've really opened up this whole new arena to being online.
Yeah, yeah, and we do a very small amount of in person, like we have a conference, and we do some live virtual class options, but it's nice to be able to have the education self-paced. And once you complete it, other than if you're in a state that has a class that's required, we have to close that because you're going to have to take it again next renewal. But otherwise, you have access to the classes indefinitely. So it's not like you have to retain it all because
Right.
there
Not
are
a one
some
and
things.
done.
Exactly. And
That's what,
any professional can take our classes. We just work with 11 states right now to provide continuing education hours, which is um, about as many that require it at this point. There's a couple more, but they, for whatever reason, different reasons, we don't qualify to work with them. Or, maybe their continuing education is strictly out of like the Milady's book. And I mean, I'm not Milady's, so.
right. So let me ask you, when you first started, Babe, what was the gap that you were seeing?
I feel, well, just mostly online, there just wasn't much, right? And then on top of that, just a lot of the soft skills, healthy boundaries, customer service. I come from a place where personally, I believe even if you work for someone, these days you really still need to have a lot of the skills. So like while you may not have all the financial responsibility of keeping the lights on, you need customer service, you need to be able to sell, you need to have healthy boundaries, you need to be able to talk to people. And
Exactly.
and a lot of times we're not taught that. And there's just so much more than just the technical skills to our business or our careers.
And with that said, there's also the gap with the financial part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And tell me now how you're expanding into this arena.
Okay, so thank you. Um, so personally, I have had a lot of experience in my career in working in finance as well. I came from a scarcity mindset, and in fact, as a baby esthetician, I graduated and was licensed in February of 2001, and unfortunately, we all know what happened in September 11th of 2001. And
Right.
I was working at a beautiful hair salon that had just expanded to do aesthetics. And I was on straight commission, and there, because it was slow to grow, some days I spent more in my lunch than I made. And I'm like, when September 11th happened, I panicked and I'm like, I can't do this as my only income. And so I went and worked for a loan processing company. And at the time, we represented over 500 different banks and credit unions. I think they're in the thousands now, but I learned so much about credit and how that affects our lives. I have also been a bookkeeper for municipalities, for small businesses, and even a medical clinic. So but having said that, I also had my own financial like stories, right? For
Mhm.
instance, the money mindset of the scarcity. And I think so many people have that. We might look at someone and say, "Oh my gosh, they're killing it. They're making so much money." But I can never do that, right? And because of XYZ, like my family doesn't make that much money. I don't have their clients. I don't, you know,
Or or they're making so much money, but they have nothing to show. They're like both ends of
correct.
a deal.
For sure. For sure.
So
Yeah.
the
So,
mindset
um,
is really crucial.
yes, it is. It is. So, um, the program I've created is basically it goes through the financial basics, and it's helpful if you're self-employed or not. Like, I think all the information is beneficial. We dive into credit, and we do a lot of money mindset work. And if you think that you have um, done the work in that arena, I challenge you, because as I got certified as a coach for the money mindset program and created this together with my knowledge, and then with this, that I found that even though I have done the work, you're still always going to have these stories come up. So, and I call it like an onion. You're unraveling layers upon layers of stories that, whether society taught us or we learned, growing up or whatever, we all have. But also, I think we talked about before how, a lot of people think, well, money is hard. So that's a money mindset story right there. I can't figure it out. It's too hard for me. I don't need to know it. Those are all money mindset stories. And, one of the things I feel strongly about is a lot of people have just not been educated. In fact, two-thirds of the world doesn't have financial education. But then, so when we make poor choices and then we say, see, I'm terrible at money, it's like
Mhm.
that cycle of like, you don't have the education, but then, your mindset gets you because you failed at something you don't understand.
What do you feel as far as in the beauty industry, the beauty professional, like their biggest challenges? Is it more mindset or is it just they don't know?
I think it's both. I do think it's both. I think everybody struggles in that arena, but I think, like I was just saying, like I think the we don't have the education on it, most people, right? And so then they
Mhm.
make bad choices, and then the money mindset, just affects them. And really, like the mental mindset of having, if you're feeling like I don't have time, that's a money mindset, or that's a mindset issue also, right? So it usually comes, it affects different parts of our lives.
Right.
So, and I think a lot of people that have been struggling lately with like burnout or just like the economy, I feel like when you're on this side of understanding finances and money mindset,
Mhm.
this is a completely different world for me than it is for someone really struggling right now.
So let me ask you, what is the one financial habit or mindset shift that you think every beauty professional can do right now?
Um, I think just realizing that it's important and to not be hard on yourself. This is just a skill you haven't learned. So whether you come learn from myself or dive in somewhere else, it doesn't have to be like this boring, overwhelming thing. It's just you really have to dive in and just start educating yourself, and it comes like it just becomes more natural, and I think it takes the stress off of you significantly when you at least understand it. So I mean, it's not like a huge tip, but it's just diving in and learning,
Well, I
because
do. No, excuse me. I do see a lot of stylists, they are overwhelmed with money.
mm-hmm,
They're very overwhelmed and they do get burned out and they're overwhelmed. I don't know. I always tell a lot of the stylists that I coach to be on top of their weekly, because what happens is
yeah,
when they're not on top of it, then they can't, like they miss a week or 2 weeks, then it's 6 weeks out. Now they're afraid to look at their checkbook. They're afraid to look at their bank account. They're afraid to look at their credit card. And this overwhelm, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to do this? How am I
yeah,
going to buy products? So many stylists do not even purchase products for retail because they don't have the money.
yeah, and then they're missing out
Exactly.
on serving your clients, and that's a mindset thing too. Like, I can't afford it. Well, you can. It's just how are you dealing with it? And kind of like you mentioned, um, you could be like killing it and making a ton of money, but you're mismanaging it, and that's just another piece of it. So like I say in my class, like if you can't manage $5, you can't manage 500 or 5,000 or 5 million. Like, some people win the lottery and end up claiming bankruptcy because they can't manage it, and they can't deal with the mindset things. And, it's
So tell
really
me a
just a
little.
tool.
So tell me a little bit more about your program. Is it more like a course? Is it part of Babe? Is it part of uh, uh, the entity with that, or is it its own entity? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So it is part of Babe. And in some states, a couple of them, you can still get continuing education hours, which I'm grateful for. But I really think it doesn't matter. This is a tool that, let's just say, 70% of us need, right? And it's something
Whether
you
it's
have forever.
and whether it's your business or your home, it doesn't. It's going to work for everything.
Exactly. And it's just it goes into both, as you're saying. Exactly. But so how it works is it's a 12-week program. There will be a little bit online that you do yourself, and the reason we don't do that as a group is because it's some of it's definitely educational, but some of it's going to take time for you to like reflect, especially when we're in the money mindset stuff and like
Okay.
work through your stories. um, but then we also meet weekly to do a live virtual call. If you can't make the call, you can send me your questions ahead of time, but basically during that time we kind of just dive in a little more, go over questions you have, and kind of, it's basically a small group coaching. So you have questions, we coach through it, and then we'll also have an online community where you can talk to each other and support each other. And having been through this money mindset program myself that I got certified in, and adding it to the basics and just regular information, there's something super beautiful about being in a community and just supporting each other. And like sometimes somebody else will bring up something and you can completely relate, even though it might
Mhm.
not be the exact same scenario. And it's beautiful and humbling, and I just love seeing
It's so
the impact.
rewarding.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just love seeing people work through their things and be able to, sometimes we have blocks, things that are just blocking us from making ourselves abundant, and whatever that means, more time, more money, more freedom to do what we want.
And
So
well, and when at the end of your program, what can someone expect to feel like a burden off of them or having the right path to where they're going to be guided, whether it's their personal, their business life. Because I know myself, I had my struggles. You know, people think you coach and you had it all together your whole life. That's why I coached, because I didn't have it together and then I did get it together.
Right.
So my point is, at the end of the 12 weeks, is this something that someone can continue with this? Is it something that will take with them for the rest of their life, set them into, a different mindset and the way they look at money?
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly that. Is that this is, first of all, they have access to it indefinitely. It is something that I feel you will take with you forever, personally, professionally. And when I even say professionally, that still doesn't mean you have to work for someone, but it could, right? Or, I mean, you could, vice versa. It doesn't mean you have to be self employed, but it could mean that. And never say never. You never know, like if that's a door that may open for you. But regardless, this information we use every single day. And the money mindset piece of it, I feel so many people have had just like aha moments, and have just been able to become a completely different person on the other side of it. I mean, it is just such impactful work that it's one of those things that we keep putting off, but the reality is, like, it's a skill I don't know. It's a skill you can't learn. You can't not learn, because otherwise you're just going to continue to struggle and struggle and struggle.
And
And
do
it's
you
like,
feel that's the true freedom?
oh yeah, yeah,
I do too,
yeah.
without a doubt. That is the freedom.
Yeah. I feel so many people just avoid it. Look, we all do those things. I'm
Hmm.
notorious for like putting off a task that I think is going to take forever. And then when I finally do it, I was like, oh my gosh, why did I?
15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And my life is so much better without that.
I know, it's so
So,
true. Do
uh,
you feel the what makes the financial education in the beauty industry different from just general financial education?
good question. So a lot of it is, gonna be similar, but of course we are bringing it to. So we'll be talking about, there's a section that talks about knowing your numbers and like what that looks like. And of course, we're going to be relating all of this to our industry. And also, it's going to start, I know many of you are probably, like, many people are probably, I don't know anything about money. Well, we start very basic, because I don't ever want to talk over someone's education level on money. And I'm there to answer the questions as we go. But yeah, and I feel in our industry especially, look, a lot of us are more creative minded.
Hmm.
And it's interesting. My dad was a floral wholesaler growing up, and I totally saw this, unfortunately, in the floral industry, right? So these people are much more artistic minded, and
Right.
they're capable people of learning this, just like anybody in our industry. But we may not tend to be, I feel I ride very in the middle of this, but some people are very not analytical. They're more creative, or whatever that looks like, right? But you're certainly capable to learn the basics. And even if you learn about money and still decide to use a bookkeeper, and I always encourage an accountant, you still, just like we were talking about, have this like better um, understanding.
Understanding.
You
Hmm.
make better choices. You
You
can
know
look
what's
at your
going
stuff.
on.
Exactly. And it's that freedom of feeling aware, more in control. Yeah, you just make better choices. I mean, it'd be like if you bought a house without getting any knowledge of what that looks like, or what that means, or what that paperwork you signed
Exactly.
means,
You know, I want to open up a salon, but you have no clue what the rent's going to be, how many stations are going to be there, what the square footage is. You're not, you're going to FGHI and you haven't done ABC yet.
Yes, yes.
So let me ask you this. How do you hope this new education will transform the stylist or any beauty professional um, with their personal lives as well?
I hope my goal to get when I'm getting people through this program is to educate them and empower them, to give them the tools to take control of their money, to understand it, to change their stories about money, whether that's like, I can't make that much, or
Mhm.
money is hard, or money is evil, or, things like that. But give them the path to change all of their money. So, and in doing so, by putting that into action, I mean, you can get out of debt, you can buy that salon building, you can, it's really limitless. You can retire early, you can, travel, whatever it is you're passionate about. And I just want to be there to see it. Like, I want to help you understand that this is all something you can do for sure.
Exactly. And let me ask you, as far as the especially with stylist or any beauty professional like with that are in the rental industry and they pay rent and they have to buy their products. When you joined your money and mindset program, does it seem like there's more of a system involved where stylist or any beauty professional can really understand this is how I do it. This is how it's like I'm always going to do it the same format and I will get to my end goal. Does that make sense what I'm saying as far as if I need to save for something or if I need to know I need this much money for my rent or I need this much more, do you guide them to make these steps where it's like 1 through 10 and you follow the steps along and you will always get to 10 and see the result at the end?
Yeah, so we do, excuse me, provide a couple different tools of knowing their numbers, and also just like how to keep simple bookkeeping books. So then if they're working with an accountant, they can first of all just look at their money at any point, or their numbers at any point, and know how their business is doing. And with the other information that we will give them, they'll also be able to say, okay, well, my goal is more, or I'm right on top of this. So if my
And
goal
they
is
build
more,
off
then
of that or
yeah.
oh,
So yes, we definitely provide those kind of tools that they can utilize, so they can completely understand what their goal is, what they want to earn, what they need to, like the bare minimum they need to make to break even, and then how to move forward from
do
there.
you feel when stylists or any beauty professional when they really start getting to know their numbers and start to see, is it something that they get more excited about or do you think they get more scared like, oh my god, what have I done or how did I get to this point? Get elaborate a little bit on that because I think a lot of stylists or beauty professionals sometimes they don't want to face the music.
I mean, that is true. I think most people get excited just for the clarity, because look, if you're not doing well financially, it gives you, we kind of dive into, what are some ways you can change that. Whether that's earning more money, carrying retail, upselling services, or do you need to reduce some of your expenses? What subscriptions are you paying for that are just like mindlessly, costing
Mhm.
you a lot of money? I think that's one thing that isn't always blaringly obvious, is like large subscriptions, or maybe you are in a space that's really expensive and is more than you need. Maybe you can, go to something more manageable, or do you want a roommate, or there's so many different avenues of that. But I do think, regardless of whether that's a little scary at first,
Right,
we show like how you can move forward with that. And again, like, ignoring it, it doesn't make it go away. So
right.
the sooner you do it, the sooner you can get at least an understanding of what's happening and clarity, and then how the tools to move forward and change that.
And have it for the rest of your life. That's the
Absolutely.
key. So, as far as your long-term vision for Babe in the next 1 to 3 years and your money mindset, where do you see that going? And especially because of everything being online and online education, the CEU hours, your money mindset, where do you see that at in the next 1 to 3 years?
I think I'm just going to keep paving forward. Like, we have a great team of educators. who bring their own niches. So right now we're close to 90 classes. I can't even believe it. I saw something the other day and I feel it was a certificate from last year or an
Mhm.
email from last year. And I think we have added almost 30 new classes this year.
Wow.
And I
Well, everything is online and people do want to know more. And when they coach with you for your money mindset, you're also going to have weekly coaching calls then, correct? So they get to really dive in with their own personal situation. I don't know why I can't hear you. There we
can you
go.
hear me now?
Yep. There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I don't. It was telling me something about hand gestures.
Oh, that's a great. I forgot what I was saying now.
Oh, but
As
just
far as
yes, we do weekly recordings, weekly calls. So they do get to bring. This is my situation. What would you do? Or this is
okay.
an area that I'm really struggling with. How can you help me understand it better? It's not just like here's this class and all this information and good luck. So.
How,
Um,
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and so I mean, some of our classes are online, self-paced. A lot of them are, but this money financial program is there's coaching and support involved.
Now, how does someone join if they want? Because this is a huge thing. I know I coach stylists. Money is the number one thing. I mean, it
Yeah,
really is. It affects everything in our life, personal, business, our emotions. It affects our mood. It affects our mindset. And if you don't have the mindset, I mean, I understand that completely. Like I said, I have been there. And if somebody says, you know what, I really want to make a change for 2026, I'm going on to the right, I want to get going, get my money together, get my business together. How can they join with you?
if they're ready, they can go to our website, which is Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education, and then they would just go to Shop Now, and then Brilliance Prosperity Path is what it is called, our program, and you can read through it and then you can enroll. So this is going to be a small group of people. I'm not letting this get wild because I want to be as supportive as possible for everyone and get them what they need.
Mhm.
And then we'll be starting in January. So you'll be able to get some information before then, the first module, and kind of dive in. But yeah, and basically you can just sign up through that. You can send me any questions you have because I'm happy to, answer them. But I'm just super excited. I'm really hopeful that people are willing to take this step for themselves because I know how much it changed my life. You have shared the same, and
Mhm.
it's just a completely different look. It's not like we never don't worry about money, right? But it is just very different when you have done this kind of work for yourself. And like you said, you have it for the rest of your life. You
Mhm.
understand. It's like, I don't forget how to tie my shoes. Like once you learn
Right.
it, you get it. And if not, you'll still have that information to resource anytime something comes up. So
So you had just made a comment, if you're ready. What actually will make me know if I'm ready? Like, what questions will I be asking myself? Or is it just more of the overwhelm? Oh my God, I need help. I'm signing up. Or is there something that says, I could be a little better on my bills, or, sometimes I'm late on rent and I get charged the fee and I pay it. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. Who is that ideal person that would be ready for this type of course?
that's a good question. I feel everybody needs this work, like
Mhm.
unless they have really, really done the work. And again, that's probably less than a third because only a third has any kind of financial education. So I don't want to put anybody into a box, but I
Mhm.
think if you are looking to better yourself, to
Mhm.
understand this and to show up, it's not going to be overload. It's going to be a couple hours a week worth of information,
Mhm.
including the time that we have together. And, you know, um,
That's great.
yeah, so
I
I,
think we
I
could see
really think,
real results too because it's so personalized.
yeah. And I mean, it is 3 months, right? 12 weeks, but like it doesn't mean you don't get any results, like you're saying. until 90 days. No, this is going to be, you're going to be learning, you're going to be making choices, you're going to be understanding what's happening. And yeah, I mean,
Doing it.
and in this economy, I feel a lot of people, you know, have, I mean, that's a money mindset thing right there, right? How many people are saying in this economy this, in this economy that? But people, I've been traveling a lot lately. Some fun, some not. I shouldn't say not. Some like work, right? Some travel for a training and stuff. And flights are full, hotels are full, people are
Right.
doing things. You
People
know,
are
restaurants
busy.
are packed. Yeah, people are still spending money, and we'll talk about stuff like that. But and of course, this is if you decide to sign up by the end of the year, you get this as a write off, and that's
That's
a money
exactly
tip right
right.
there. So education.
Well, there you go. Courtney, I want to thank you so much. You guys follow Courtney Cox with Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education, also known as BABE. You can get online education for all your CEU hours. You can join her money mindset program. They can go right to your website, correct, and just join everything from there. My name is Lee with Lee Marie Salon Coach. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Courtney at Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education. You can reach out to me, Lee Marie Salon Coach, and we'll be happy to get you in the right direction. So, Courtney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lee. I really appreciate you having me on. It's been a pleasure as always. And
Yeah, we are definitely going to do this again because, this is like the gym. Everybody's joining in January, but by March, they're going to be like, I didn't do anything. And now my bills are adding up and I don't know what to do.
yes.
And we're going to, we want to save them because you can be saved.
Yeah. Yep. I
So,
know. Exactly. I'm like, let's turn this whole industry around by one, right?
yes. And it's Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great holiday. Courtney, I'll be talking to you.
Thank
And
you.
goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye.